To use the gridding method to draw your image, first you need your photograph, and then you need to put a grid on top of it. Usually we would print a photograph out and then using a ruler and a pencil, draw the grid right on top of that image to use for your reference while you're drawing. However, because many of us are working virtually, we're going to do this online using a website called ArtTutor. The first thing you need to do is upload your image. So you'll click Choose File, and if you're on your phone, you'll choose from your camera roll. Or if you're on your computer, find your file. When that uploads, you'll be able to click Next. Most likely, you shouldn't need to rotate, crop, or adjust the image. You can click Next and go through those steps if you need to, but once your image has uploaded, you can also just skip all those if it's right side up and what you need exactly, and just go to Step 5, Grid. What I need to do here is make a few changes. I don't want this to be 5 boxes wide. My paper is actually not square, so I want to unclick Keep Boxes Square. The paper is going to be 9 inches wide by 12 tall. So we're going to have a 1 inch by 1 inch square. So we need to change these drop downs to 9 by 12 boxes. You can change the color. Red is just fine if you want to change to white. And I figure 2 pixels is actually pretty good. And when you click Apply Grid, that's going to go ahead and lay that grid on top of your image. If you don't like how thick that line is, you can always go to 1 pixel and apply that. But then when you download the image, the grid actually ends up looking a little bit smaller because your image is much larger than it shows right here. Depending on what color you think looks best, you can go ahead and change that. I really think that white or black is probably what you would want to do. For my shirt here, maybe that would get a little confusing, so I might want to actually go ahead and keep it at red. That just depends on what your preference is. So then once I download my image, I should be good to go. When I go ahead and open the full file, those lines are really, really thin, which is perfectly fine, but if you do want it to be a little bit thicker and easier to see, you can always change to a thicker grid or just keep it on 2 pixels there in the first place and then download it again. So here I think 2 pixels is probably what I'm going to stick with. You can see in the example that they have here on this little preview window, those lines are much thicker than they're going to end up being actually on your piece.